ಓ ಅಂದರೆ ಜಾರ್ತೀರಾ ನೀವು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾರ್ತೀರಾ? ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಜಾರೋದು. ಸೊ ಒನ್ ರೇಡಿಯೋ ಕಾಂಪಿಯರ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಆಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿ, ಸೊ ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಜಾರೋ ಗಿಟಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೋದು. ಸಂಕೇತ್ ಈಸ್ ಲೈಕ್ ತಮಿಳ್ ಕನ್ನಡ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಟು ಇನ್ಫಿನಿಟ್ ಪ್ರಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ದೋಸೆ ಚಟ್ನಿ ಪೊಟ್ಕಮ್ ಲಟ್ಕಮ್ ಪಟ್ಕಮ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಜಡಿಯಾಣಿ. ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಸಂಕೇತ್? ಯಾ, I was going and working for Chigurida Kanasu. One of those days, morning, Rajkumar was released back from Europe.
Prakash, you collaborated on a few Grammy albums, right? How many Grammy albums and what did you do for these albums?
Altogether, maybe around, I think, 4 or even more actually, because there was a Peruvian album also, so maybe 5 or 6.
So does that mean we can say that you've won a Grammy? How does that work?
No, better can say that I have collaborated on a Grammy album.
Doesn't everybody who's worked on the album considered as a Grammy winner?
No, actually what happens is the producer in this whole segment, the producer is the most important person.
Okay.
Because it's the producer's job to make sure that it reaches till the last destination.
Okay.
And they have to go through all the trouble. So you can be sharing your ideas and helping the creative process, but the ultimate slog for the running around and publicity and all, it's the producer's work. The producer and director do the max work there.
Okay. So what is your area of expertise in the music world?
Slide guitar, vocals.
Vocals.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you compose as well?
Yes, I compose and decompose.
So how did music happen to you?
It's from a family of musicians. My mom and dad both are musicians.
Right.
So it was like available for free at home.
Yeah.
So you don't realize the value of things which are free. Much later, when I went out to the professional world, I saw that, what I know is definitely much more than what these professionals also claim to know. Like as a kid, my mom made me participate as a music composer when I was barely 5 years old.
How?
She would take me along with her to these places where she would be the music composer for a drama. So I would be watching the drama and watching my mother do that thing, So she would say, previous discussion before the play started, that lady would say that, ma'am, from here onwards I am going to cry. So this scene becomes very emotional. So I would see my mother suddenly change the tune from something else to something else. So that was like a lesson instantly without even knowing that you are learning it. So how to take minor notes, how to take major notes became such a very important lesson. So those are things which can't be taught.
You have also a very deep relationship with death scenes, I believe.
There was a time when in lots of Kannada films, whenever there was somebody dying, they'd say, Prakash Sontakke. That will be very effective. So we do some alap and that whole scene becomes alive, like, oh wow.
The fact that you said the scene becomes alive for a death scene. So only artists can say things like that.
Correct. Alive for the death scene.
For the death scene. Wow.
Yeah, I realize it now.
So you grew up where?
I was born and brought up in Benares, the great Kashi.
Wow.
And then I came to Bangalore to 11th, from 11th onwards, in 89. So 11th onwards, Vijay College. Then I tried my hand in engineering unsuccessfully for I think 3-4 years. By the time I was into this whole engineering thing, I was getting a lot of chances in music. And my parents, both being musicians, were very clear that I should not take music as a profession.
Because there's no money.
There's no money. Very struggle ಇದೆ ಬೇಡಪ್ಪ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಲೇಬೇಡ. So but I was only like crazy, no, I'm going to do this. And then I suddenly got a chance to go for this commercial recording world.
Okay.
So the commercial recording world would mean money every day.
What does this commercial recording world mean?
Means sometimes you're playing for bhajans, sometimes you're playing for films, sometimes you're playing for both, sometimes you're playing for documentary, all kinds of commercial work. So basically commercial means if you have rendered your services for something, you have to be paid.
Yeah.
In this world, sometimes when somebody says he's a very commercial artist, I want to ask them the question, what is the other form of artist that you know? Other than commercial artist. You pay him for something. Okay. Otherwise, what do you expect him? Just to come and do his work and go back and
for exposure.
Exposure.
Am I
a camera or something? For needing exposure.
Yes, the number of people who reached out to me and say, Illappa, come and do a good exposure for you only. It's a good platform. I'm like, bada. Please tell
this exposure thing, in real life I saw like a good friend of mine for some wedding concert. He invited me, hey Prakash Bama, please, namdu akkan wedding ge ಒಂದು ಒಳ್ಳೆ program ಕೊಡೋಣ. So I said, okay, like I also knew that girl and I was like, okay, I'll do a nice concert for them. So here we are doing rehearsals and everything, and then we went for the show. When we landed up at the show, they didn't have any stage at all.
Okay.
They're like, ಎಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಬಾರಿಸ್ತೀಯಾ, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೋತೀಯಾ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೈಕು ಸ್ಟೇಜು
ಸೌಂಡ್ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ,
ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನೀನು ಬಾರಿಸು ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಅಲ್ಲ ರೀ, 300-400 ಜನ ಇರೋ ಹಾಲಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬಾರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 5 meters ಫ್ರಮ್ ಮೀ ಯು ಕಾಂಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ನಾವು. Then I realized, if you give something for free like this, the value is absolutely.
Yeah, that's true.
Very sad it was. Then I said, illalla. Then I went, booked a sound guy. That sound guy, ಏನು ಸರ್ ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಿನಿಟ್
5:30 that sound guy starts from Yelahanka to Jayanagar. Slowly he is coming, and he had no mobiles also that time. You have to only believe he is coming. Because nowadays you call somebody, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ, which circle ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, some circle he is there, but he will come after 3 hours anyway. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಬರ್ತಾನೆ ಪಾಪ ಅವನು. So it was very like, after that I realized that you do like that, then it's no value. So better to just walk out from such gigs, and say, sorry, thank you.
You said you were in Banaras, so your parents, when you said they were musicians, they were musicians in what form?
Both of them were Hindustani classical exponents, and my mom was initially my dad's disciple, and later on they got married and all.
Aha! Yen love story ado. Teacher student though.
Andre, my father had seen my mom, had not lost his eyesight by that time. And after knowing my mom, 2 years later he lost his eyesight.
Oh, okay.
And 2 years after losing his eyesight, my mom decided to marry him. She said, no, that if I leave him to himself, he will not be able to do much in life.
Oh.
So it was my mother's great sacrifice actually. So discussions in our house were like very funny, like there will be like scooter going in the main road. So my dad would say, kaun se sur mein hai? This is something like B. A music doorbell, Gasa. Every sound was notated to some musical notation or the other. So music lessons happened just like that, without even knowing that you are learning music.
Wow, so fortunate.
Much later I realized that, these are things which I learned without even knowing that I am learning them. Especially for background scores in films, how to create suspense, like how to create a suspenseful track. Like I remember people who must have seen the great film Psycho. There is this famous violin riff, ta, 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 that creates that
Like
whole
when you're doing that, I can feel it.
tension. Like something is going to build up. It's just 2 notes, niza, 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 that's all. But how is just that note creating that suspense? So when I started studying theory, like I was lucky to get chances to work with European jazz musicians, senior guys. So they would say that, Prakash, play that note, it creates that suspense. I said, okay, these are suspense chords, power chords. Like that correlation of what I know in a different way, competing into what now I know in the Western world also. It was very interesting. I used to hide it from my dad and listen to Michael Jackson. Because a classical musician family, suddenly beat it, just beat it. So dad would be like,
I'll beat you.
So I'm listening to this and suddenly my dad walks in. What are you listening? I was like, I wanted to switch it off quickly, but I didn't know where the button was. I was looking. Too late.
Correct.
So it was playing. So he said, okay, nice. What is the notation for that? I said, what? What notation? What music notes are going on? So I was listening to Thriller. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. So when my dad asked me this question, that what is the music notation, I suddenly realized couple of days before he was teaching me rag Bhimpalasi. So it's a ma-pa-ni-sa, ma-pa-ni-sa. Immediately that whole birth of fusion inside the head happened that point of time, simultaneously. So any form of music I would listen to would be playing to me like a rag. If I listen to Beethoven, Moonlight Sonata, anything, any music, any rap also, it will immediately be transcribing inside my head as a particular raga. And that helped in terms of doing collaborations. When I go for a collaboration, if somebody is playing something, I say, okay, you're playing this, okay, let me just give a response through my medium, whichever I know. I have learned Hindustani classical. I will participate as a Hindustani classical.
Okay.
You have done an entire orchestration piece, finish. Collaboration would happen just like that. And like here, typical Kailasam used to say, who is a typical Kannadiga? The one who talks absolute beautiful Malayalam with a Malayali, fantastic Tamil with a Tamilian, chaste Telugu with a Telgite, and English with a fellow Kannadiga. That is the best definition of a true Kannadiga. TP Kailasam style, that is. If you read a lot of TP Kailasam, which I was very lucky when I came to Bangalore initially, as a music director for all these plays. So very first few plays I remember, this Namma company of TP Kailasam. So I didn't understand the subtle language elements, but I would find certain things very funny. So like there is this king who just walks onto the podium, and there are lots of pots kept there. Abba, ee Gondaranyadalli. So, and people would be laughing and were like, what is so funny in that? Gondaranya. Aranya is forest. Gondaranya is pots. So he's a forest of pots. Basically on the stage you have put the parts now. So that would be humor. So for some time it take for me to figure out what is the humor element in that. And that way I started enjoying TP Kailasam, lots of those plays.
Why did you move to Bangalore? For studies, or your entire family moved?
The whole family. Because
Why?
there is this great scholar by name Kadri Shamanna.
Okay.
Kadri Shamanna is very close to our family, as a family friend. He was the one who kept on pestering my parents, like, you both should come and settle here. Because we used to always come to Bangalore for summer vacations.
Okay.
So he used to always come and tell, Aap aiye yahan pe, you should come and start music, because people like Hindustani, but they don't have proper guidance. So my dad like, I wanted to go to Calcutta or Bombay. But then my mom was like, stronger. She was like, no, we should go to Bangalore.
And how did you learn Kannada? Because your Kannada is very good.
See, when I came here, before that, many years in our house, there was a house help who was a Kannadiga.
Okay.
So my mom and her conversations, I learned Kannada like that.
Your mom is Kannadiga?
Tamilian.
And how did she learn Kannada then?
No,
You're full confusion for me.
No. All the Ayingars of Bangalore typically speak Kannada only. No? Of course, the Tamil dialects are different. In Basavanagudi side, if you go, you can make out after a little while that these people might be Tamilians. Otherwise, here they will say, also say, Niv Yeli. Yeli. Yeli pa. So like Heli.
The Hakara.
Yeli. All those words will change. Macha, Manasa, Nodapa, Manasa, Noda, Manasa. What is Manasa? So then you finally figure out that, okay, some Tamil connection. Different type of Tamils are spoken by different. So the Iyengar Tamil is also kind of very mixed and confused. Like the Iyengars of Chennai definitely do not look at the Iyengars from Bangalore as language repositories. They'll think that Dabban and Makudella all madbitaru nam language. Then you have the Sanketis. The Sanketis like Tamil, Kannada mixed to infinite proportions. Those ek chutney potkam, latkam, patkam, ankon jadiyani. Now you'll be like, what is this?
This is an actual line.
Sanketi, yeah. Those ek chutney potkanda, latkam, patkam, ankon jadiyani. Put chutney to the dosa and eat nicely. This is how the language is. Beautiful mix of Kannada and Tamil, whichever proportion they want it.
If someone were to had to say this, they would say the same line exactly like this.
You listen to two Sanketis talking, you'll be like, oh shit, where have I landed?
Where are these people? In Bangalore?
Bangalore, yeah.
Where? I have never...
Rudrapatnam, the places like Rudrapatnam, these are like proper Sanketi zones.
My mind is blown because I'll tell you, it sounded like there was a mix of Kannada, Tamil and Telugu in that.
Sanketis.
How are they mixing this? Like, how did it... Do you have any idea how it formed?
It is a migratory kind of culture where they are on the border, so they picked up either of them. Like if you go towards Kerala and Mangalore border.
Yes.
Those people will know beautiful Malayalam also, Konkani also. So Bangalore has that, like in one single Karnataka, you have got 4 or 5 total different accents. You go that whole Ballari side, you find absolute Telugu mix with Kannada. They will understand beautiful Telugu, they will sing beautiful Telugu. Same thing, Hosur, you come total Tamil. I had not even heard about this thing called the Reunion Islands. I didn't even know that a place like that exists.
Even I don't
Many
know what
people
it is.
still don't
Please
know.
tell.
It's next to Mauritius, like
Okay.
Mauritius, Madagascar, Reunion Islands. That's basically a French colony. Like lots of places French people have gone and made colonies. Like even in India, Pondicherry, you find more French people there. So when I went there, I had absolutely no idea that whichever day we went to perform in the evening, I would find people like, oh, looking just like Tamilians. Somebody from Chennai, I would almost speak Tamil, vanga vanga. Then I realized, oh shit, this is not Chennai. These are people whose generations, 4 or 5 generations ago, they came to that place as slaves probably, or working on the boat, and they stayed there. And they would take me home to their dinner and say, when I look at you, your skin is just like my great grandfather. I said, your skin is also like me only, man. Where is the difference? But he finds it very different because he's speaking chaste French. He doesn't know anything else other than French. With great difficulty, he would speak English sometimes.
And what food were they serving you?
Typical Indian food.
Indian food?
Little hybrid, of course. In everything, there is some
fusion.
dead animal. There'll be something like an idli, but another some dead animal along with it. Then I said, okay, what to do? But I would tell them that your skin looks like mine only. Oh, okay. Oh, they'd find it very surprising. I said, it's the same thing. But I found like that when I went to Africa, I went to Senegal, then I came across this Gujarati family, Daji families. All Gujaratis. They speak absolute French, absolute African. They have no idea about Gujarati now. They have left Gujarat so many centuries ago that, but whenever they will talk to me, they'll show me that Surat. So my grandfather is from here, sir. That's Surat. So you are Gujarati. I think so.
Oh, no connection.
No connection at all. But yeah, the sentiment comes immediately when they say, oh, you're Indian. Oh, wow, so nice to see you. And all. But they can't even speak English. That's the best part.
You said that you used to come to Bangalore for your summer vacations. What is your first memory of Bangalore?
The biggest fascination for me at one point of time as a kid was this whole open theatre. Like you could drive into that place in this huge field, sit inside the car, they'll give you a small speaker in the car, and you watch this film in the screen. What a drive-in theatre they used to call it. This was somewhere near Jayanagar.
Okay.
So my uncle and all, they took me there, and I was very fascinated. Like for me, Bangalore meant coming to that driving theatre. Bangalore summers. In Bangalore summers, we used to never, I used to come from Banaras. Banaras used to boil like crazy. And summer evenings, you had to go out with a light jacket.
You moved and you started staying in Basavanagudi as soon as you moved?
Correct. Yeah, so, initially for some time I was in Binnipet. Okay. Where my aunt had placed us there.
And this was in which year?
89.
Yoppa, what was Basavanagudi at that time? What did it look like?
Beautiful. Means now also Basavanagudi looks beautiful only. Just that, lots of commercial complexes have come up. See, means with every urbanization topic, when you look at topic of urbanization, the real joy of urbanization comes when there is a great mix of old and new.
Yeah.
When I had gone to Spain for the first time, they told me this is a very traditional town of Spain. But whenever I saw offices and commercial complexes, they used to look absolutely modern. Go into that, and then you will suddenly enter into a different world, 35, 40, 50 years behind. Outside, the look is fully modern. Inside, full traditional. It's like, wow, this is damn smart. So that kind of a model should have been adapted is what I feel in Bangalore.
Yeah, I agree.
So it happens that moment we talk about modernization, we go to some other level. We think
we demolish and then make.
Yeah. My thing is maintain the same old thing with that little new angle.
Yeah.
That makes it more like a very Cosmo life.
Yeah, also gives you a sense of the history, the rich history of the place.
Absolutely.
11th is when Bangalore happened to you in that sense,
correct.
Right? What were the hangout places in Basavanagudi? Were there any hangout places at all?
Those days hangout places used to be some places like Institute of World Culture.
Yoppa.
Something or the other was happening there in the evenings. Then otherwise, other than that, Vidyarthi Bhavan, the great Vidyarthi Bhavan. I was very lucky that during my PUC days, one of the Vidyarthi Bhavan's owner's son was my classmate. Arun. He was my classmate and he generally called me come one day to my hotel. And I was like, okay, which is this place? Then I went there and then I realized that is a famous Vidyarthi Bhavan. And the old Vidyarthi Bhavan had a great vibe. Means now also it has a great vibe actually. That way Arun has done beautifully. He has maintained that old vibe and merged it with the new life.
Right.
So that's a very smart thing. There's an MTR.
So it's all food places in
Food
that
place.
sense.
Then from my house, 100 meters, not even 100 meters, probably 60 or 70 meters, Brahmin's Coffee Bar, famous.
Ah.
Famous idlis. I have seen people from Bombay, early morning, 6 o'clock flight arrival, come straight to Brahmin's Coffee Bar and call me from there. Prakash, where are you, ma? I say, I'm at home. Why? I just walk down. Where are you? I'm not in Bombay. No, I've come to your Brahmin's Coffee Bar. You can almost not think of cooking at home if you are in Basavanagudi.
Really?
Yeah, you can just pick up something because the food is also not commercially driven in such a way that all kinds of bad masalas are used to just cook something and somehow. No, it's cooked in the most homely way. You have that almost feeling like what you eat at home is what you eat outside also.
What did you do for entertainment?
For entertainment, yeah, theatres, like the Tempunam theatre was there. And those days movie theatres used to have this sad thing that till the song came, the speakers are only the front center ones. You can listen to the dialogue. So when I started going for playing for films recordings, I would, in the first film when I played for background score, to call my friends, hey, ba, mom, I'm guitar barsidinadalli, nodana ba. I took them all. We were all sitting like watching. Shruti, she's crying. And I can listen to my guitar faintly. And she's like, it's going on in the background. And nobody, all my friends were like, yell in guitar. Adde pa hinda nodu. Then I'm like, yaarge helodu? Then they're like, sumne sullu hoditiya nenu. Hey, illama naane barsirodu guitar. Hey, sumne ra. Song comes. The moment song starts, tin, 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 all the four speakers on the side also become on. Then I realize if I have to be heard in the song also, then only I'll be heard everywhere. So then onwards, film score, sir, free illa sir avattu. Song idre heli sir.
Oh.
And people are so like, people will ask you weird questions like, it's a slide guitar. Andre yen sir ada? A slide guitar andre itara slide baskondu. Oh, andre jaartira ನೀವು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಜಾರ್ತೀರಾ? Slide means ಜಾರೋದು. So one radio compere actually asked me, sir, ಹಾಗಿದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಜಾರೋ ಗಿಟಾರ್ ಅಂತ ಕರಿಬೋದಾ? ಜಾರೋ ಗಿಟಾರ? ಅಯ್ಯಪ್ಪ, ವಾಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಜಾರೋ ಗಿಟಾರ್? ಲೈಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲಮ್ಮ, ಸ್ಲೈಡ್ ಗಿಟಾರ್ ಅದ್ರ ಹೆಸರು. ಅದೇ ಜಾರೋ ಗಿಟಾರ್. Then Doordarshan I went once. We used to have a song called Kalyani Blues.
We andre yaru?
Means our band. Dr. Prakash Sontakke group. Like the musicians who played with me regularly.
Okay.
Played as a group.
Right.
So we went to Doordarshan for this recording because I'm a Akashvani graded artist. So Doordarshan had always. So this lady comes and says, sir, ಈ ಸಾಂಗ್ ಒಂದು ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ ಸರ್, ಬೇರೆ ಏನಾರ ಮಾಡಿ. ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ಏನಾಯಿತು? ಸರ್, ಈ ಥರ ಟೈಟಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಹಾಕೋದು ಸರ್? ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ಏನಾಯಿತು ಟೈಟಲಲ್ಲಿ? ಇಲ್ಲ ಸರ್, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆದಿದೆ ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಿ ಬ್ಲೌಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಮೇಡಮ್, ಅದು ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಿ ಬ್ಲೌಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಕಲ್ಯಾಣಿ ಬ್ಲೂಸ್. ಲೈಕ್ then I explained to her, blues ಅಂದರೆ ಅದೊಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಮ್ಯೂಸಿಕ್ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಬ್ಲೂಸ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಡಾವ್ ಅಂತ ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಅದು. ಹೌದಾ, ಅಲ್ಲ ಬ್ಲೌಸ್ ಗೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ ಸರ್ ಬಿಡಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ಐ ಡು ಹೌ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಟು ದಿಸ್ ಲೇಡಿ, ಬ್ಲೂಸು ಬ್ಲೌಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೇರೆ ಅಂತ. ರಿಯಲ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ.
Appa, I thought the problem before you said blouse was that illama Kalyani is one beer, but jote blues hakangilla, the beer brand alla blouse. Yappa,
That's the toughest life.
Did you do any sports at any point of time, or it's just like music only was your life?
No, music, like, see, I told you, like, first it plays in your mind all the time.
Yeah, because of you're not geared towards
whatever
that.
you are listening to keeps converting into your own packets of information and knowledge. So the fact that everything was getting converted into music so much is a very preoccupied thing. So it
But that
was,
also must be like really difficult, no? Because there's always something happening in your head. Like when is the quiet time? There's no quiet time.
actually the time when you are on stage performing is the real quiet time. Because there it's all output.
Yeah.
There is no input happening. You are performing whatever you have learnt, and that's the beauty of Indian classical music, that when you are performing, you are combining whatever you learnt, whatever you are doing now, spontaneous, tradition, past, present, future, everything combines into one. Even if you are performing classical. So you have to make it interesting. How to use the concept of fusion. Not necessarily that you just put drums in a song, it doesn't make it fusion. Generally, the misconception of fusion is like that only. People think, put any song, put some drums there, that becomes fusion. Think about how to create fusion. Where is the fusion element? Is it happening in harmony? Is it happening in melody? Are you bringing a total Indian melodic line, then a complete Western fusion line? So different aspects of fusion are there.
Give me an example of a fusion.
I'll tell you a very simple old example is like R.D. Burman. You know, R.D. Burman I find as the guru of Indian fusion. Jaye aap kahan jayenge. The drums is playing in the background. In the beginning line always. And then that song goes to the second line. Da 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 da. Till then, what is the beat playing in the background? Drums. But the moment tabla comes in. What a beautiful transition from that absolute drum pattern into absolute tabla. Perfectly in sync. The vocal which is singing the meaningful lines, which we connect to it. But for those who are not listening only to the lyrics, is where the music starts. If you are not listening to only lyrics, you are listening to the music also. So like when I was doing this music for this play, Arundhati Raja had told me for Charan Das Chor. There is a particular chapter there where they say that two of these people, slight villagers, they are coming from a rock show. Now, villagers have gone for a rock show. Irony. What will the villager go to a rock show and listen to? I suddenly came up with this idea. Namge beda school pata ding danak chichik chichik. It is, we don't need an education, translated straight to Kannada. Namge beku bari galata ding danak. And I made that rock song and I put it there in the background score also. Everybody loved it. And at the end of it, these guys are walking away from that we don't need education like background. But the background is full dholak. So I just put those two ideas because that is exactly how I had seen Bangalore. And in Bangalore, you have an absolute metalhead who listens only to Pantera and stuff like that. Suddenly sitting next to a Bhimsen Joshi fan, totally listening to Bhimsen Joshi. And they both will survive parallelly without any problem.
Yeah, that's true.
So I remember like Gopal Nawale and all these people, they used to do this beautiful thing called Freedom Jam.
Freedom Jam, yeah, Ravindra Kalakshetra on the
What an amazing thought. That was only Bangalore. That is a typical exactly how Bangalore was and Bangalore will be. So you had absolute metal. Suddenly next song they'll full somebody singing Yake beko nange full Kannada. Somebody will come some Tamil mix. Nobody bothers because anything is musical, they would listen to it without prejudice. That is the beauty of Bangalore crowds. And even now I think if you tap into the details of it, generations are passing by where people are coming and saying, what do you listen to? I listen to progressive house. Yakayadu progressive house andre. I don't know.
I don't know. That's true.
So now the Gen Z, they have absolutely no clue about anything anyway. So whatever you play to them, if it is something that they have heard before, they will like it. Which is 90% of how the music is being consumed today. So which means to say that experimentation is always a dangerous ground now. There was a time when experimentation was the most in thing. Like, you put some other beat to that, it's still like, oh, what is this? But okay, I like it. It's nice, something interesting. The beats are for the youngsters, the traditional song is for the elders. So you're mixing the two. So you could be playing a music from a 6-year-old to a 60-year-old in the same venue. So you are geared for that. But today now it's becoming slowly that certain forms of music are never enjoyed by certain generations. Why? Because they are listening lesser and lesser. Radio frequencies, all the radio frequencies are only commercial music. So they'll play only film songs. After listening to 12 film songs, you will know the 13th film song what it will be. But there was a time when you could just tune into, absolute jazz, absolute rock, absolute different genres of music and all under the same roof. And that's what I regard the beauty of Bangalore was. Like the greatest fusion bands started from here. So like there was this band called Human Bondage, then T.S. Mani Ramamani. They went all over the world and did such great collaborations. No? Like that was how music was to be perceived in my opinion.
Right.
that you cannot put restriction to saying that I listen to this only, I listen to that only. Listen to it. If it is good, it will be falling to your ears. You cannot say no to it. Bombay, because of the commercial world being there and film industry being there, became the bigger town. And because from Bombay you are broadcasting to the whole country, so the market was bigger. Bangalore didn't get that luck enough to become that bigger market because of language restrictions. We had our own small world. But the kind of experimentations which happened in even Bangalore theatre, Bangalore films, Putana Kanagal, look at his stories, kind of absolute progressive. You can't imagine a story like that even to this day. Like somebody has fallen very passionately in love with some woman and later on he discovers it's his mother. Ranganayaki. Yeah. What a shock. Like very radical. Nobody could have thought of topics like that, but they were covered that time. Yeah. So the Kannada theatre was absolute progressive. From absolute progressive, I don't know where it went. Every other world starts early somewhere and then comes to progressive. But here it started with super progressive only. So it didn't go more further than that.
What's been your favorite film that you produced for?
Not as a music producer mainly, but as a musician.
Musician.
Chiguridu Kanasu, Shivraj Kumar's project.
Okay.
And
this was when? How many years?
This was like, I'm telling you the story of Chiguridu Kanasu at that point of time when Rajkumar had been kidnapped by Veerappan.
Oh, by Veerappan, okay.
I was going and working for Chiguridu Kanasu. One of those days, morning, Rajkumar was released back from Veerappan. That evening, Rajkumarji came to the studio and he heard my voice and the project, he liked it a lot. So then I got a call from them that, Sir ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬರಬೇಕು ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಚೂರು ಹಾಡಬೇಕು. So I went. Then Rajkumarji was there and I was like, wow, what a moment. Then he was like, ಇದು ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಪ್ಪ, ಇದು ಹಾಡಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಹಾಡಿ. And he made me sing in another 150 more situations. Because he liked my voice or something. And plus we're discussing ragas and he was like a Hindustani buff. He used to learn Hindustani for some time. So full discussion happened and I went and sang and sang and sang. I got tired finally. Bomb explosion. Doom. Ah. Somebody is running away. Ah. Somebody is coming. Ah. Then somebody came and told, sir, ಅವರು ತುಂಬ ಇಷ್ಟ ಬಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ವಾಯ್ಸ್, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಆಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಎಡಿಟ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತೆಗೆದುಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಆಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ ಇದನ್ನ? ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಬೇಡ ಹೇಳೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ.
ಹೌದು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಆಯ್ತಪ್ಪ.
Of the legends that you have performed for or performed with?
Dr. Gangubai Hangal.
Okay.
Gangubai Hangal ji was a great Hindustani vocalist. Yeah. And I was very lucky to play violin for her on many occasions. And means she being who she was, an absolute gem. Like the beauty of Kannada legends is that if you don't know who they are, you will never get to know who they are. So she called me for accompanying on some occasions and I went there to accompany and I was like absolutely thorough with my violin. I was very good at that. So, Barsin. Then I went there, I could play anything she sang. But while singing, she suddenly sang something which I had absolutely no clue as to what to do with it. And I was just sitting there spellbound and then she just looked at me and gave me a gentle smile. And like she knew that the boy is stuck here. Yeah. But she didn't do anything. And after the program, I fell to her feet and said, ಅದೆಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಚಲೋ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಏನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಡ, ನುಡಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರೋ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. And that is a pat on the back. So the real legends never showed off their legendary status.
We normally end the episode with a postcard to Bangalore. So if Prakash Sontakke had to musically create a postcard for Bangalore, what would you do? That's your postcard to Bangalore?
Yes.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. This was the icing on the cake. Thank you so much, Prakash, and may your music thrive and speak to a lot more people. Thank you for coming on this chat.
Thanks so much for having me, Jimmy. It's such a pleasure to know that you are such a fantastic artist also.
Oh, I'm gonna cry. Thank you.